Thank you for your precious time to TV9, Libby. My very first question is, on this current situation, what are your key focus?
Well, our focus has been and remains to be making sure that Hamas no longer has the terror or administrative capabilities of being able to attack Israelis again. We are now just about 2 weeks from the horrific massacre that took place on October 7th, and we are all very focused and united around making sure Hamas can never do this again to Israelis anywhere in the country.
Yeah, as far as the hostage is the concern, what are the things happening at your front, at your level? Because is there any scope of bargain or any scope of a dialogue?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I can say that that's something that on the diplomatic level would have to be, you'd have to address it there. On the military level, though, of course, we are focused. We continue to strike Hamas targets, and we're doing that aggressively with the understanding that they cannot have rockets, weapons, planning capabilities, communication capabilities. We need to make sure that they don't have any of the means of being able to launch another massacre against Israelis ever again.
There is a big news that even Pentagon confirmed today that Iranian-backed Houthi rebels were targeting Israel, as far as Yemen is concerned.
Right. I would say that the best source for that would be the Department of Defense, of course. We did hear the report that came out from the Pentagon. And of course, we are in close communication with our allies and monitoring the situation both near and far. But certainly the Department of Defense would be the best address to talk about that.
But how do you see the situation if we see in a scenario where Houthi rebels from Yemen are also targeting Israel?
Well, I can say on the general level, we are monitoring our situation across all of our borders, of course, and we're sending a clear message along with our allies for anyone else to not get involved in this. But of course, we are prepared. We're a strong military, and we're prepared to defend the citizens here and to do whatever it is that we'll need to do.
And at the scenario when I talk about the Rafah border areas, because as far as the operations are taking place, we see that there's a lot of a situation that is actually creating a cause of worry for the people who are not getting any sort of an aid.
Well, Rafah is something that is sort of not under my domain. What I can tell you is what we're doing, which is that we've instructed residents in the Gaza Strip to move south. Of course, they are not our target. We are targeting Hamas. Hamas has always been the target, not the civilians. So we've instructed them now several days ago to move to the south. We are doing this, of course, it's an operational disadvantage to do something like this, but we are telling them to do it because we want to minimize the impact on them. We've also established a safer zone within the south there where we've instructed people to go. That is what we are doing. And of course, the issue of the humanitarian situation on the ground is something that Hamas has to address. They are the sovereign power within the Gaza Strip. They are responsible for the well-being of their public, and they are responsible for providing solutions to the civilians there.
Yeah, the way the operations are taking place, I wanted to speak to you about the ground operations, because we've seen that how IDF has actually taken a lot of area under their own surveillance, and the military zone has been declared. So how do you see a situation when we talk about the ground operations that are supposed to take place moving more forward into Gaza?
Well, whatever decision the government will make about a ground invasion is something, of course, that the IDF will carry out. First, our priority was to remove citizens within Israeli territory, keep them away from the border. We know that following the horrific invasion on October 7th, Hamas has continued attempts at infiltrating the border. We've already caught several terrorists, Hamas terrorists, still up until yesterday even. So the primary focus was first to remove people, to remove civilians from any possible danger with Hamas along our southern border. And of course, whatever the government will decide about escalating the conflict, we will be ready.
But now, as we see the situation getting more worse, schools are being targeted, hospitals are being targeted, where the civilians are actually suffering a lot.
So again, it's important for me to clarify that Israel is not targeting civilians in the Gaza Strip. We do not do that. That has never been our policy, and certainly not our policy now. Again, we've instructed civilians. We have told them where to go. We know that Hamas is preventing them from doing this. But again, Hamas is responsible for the well-being of the civilian population within the Gaza Strip, and they need to be held accountable for that as well. They are responsible for what happens there, and we are instructing people to move. We put out this message days ago. We are telling them to move at every opportunity that we can, and we're doing that because we don't want to impact the civilian population. But Hamas is responsible for the situation on the ground, and at the end, for caring for the well-being of their own people.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your precious time, Libby Wise. Thank you for talking to TV9 Bharatvarsh.
Thank you.